Hey, it's Killer Grub with Mark. We're gonna make some blueberry cream cheese French toast. It is really delicious. It's really easy to make. And so let's get down to it. First thing you need to do is, myself, everybody's a little different, but hey, get all your ingredients ready. Get everything out that you're gonna need. Have it right out here in front of you. I'm kind of crazy. As soon as I say I use each item, I put them away. Of course, I'm not going to do this making this video, but that's the way I work when I'm generally cooking. I have all my ingredients out and ready. As I use them, I put them away. It just makes cleaning up when you're done easier. Anyway, let's get started. We're making blueberry cream cheese French toast. It is really easy to make. There's tons and tons and tons and tons of different recipes out there. Doesn't make mine right, doesn't make theirs wrong. I looked at all the recipes, I've tried, I can't even tell you how many, and I ended up just saying, screw it, I'm gonna come up with my own. But anyway, one, bread, okay? You really can use any kind of bread you want. People say use stale bread. It doesn't matter if it's fresh, stale, whatever, it works. Today we're gonna use, I'm gonna mix it up. I'm gonna use some, this is thick sliced brioche style bread, okay? And then I've got some sourdough. And I generally speaking will just use, like, you'll have 2 or 3 different loaves of bread left over that have a couple slices left. Even if it's, I've mixed up whole wheat, sourdough. I rarely buy just white bread, but if I have white bread, I'll mix it all up. I'll just use whatever I have. And I'm telling you, it's delicious. So first thing you want to do, all right, get your bread out. I'll even use the ends, the crusty parts, the ends. I'll use those. Put your bread out on the cutting board. All right, just lay it out however. All right, put it out on the cutting board. You want to take it and you want to cut it basically in half. There's no right or wrong way. And then I'll just take it and I'll cut it up into, I guess, thirds. There's no, like I said, right or wrong. You'll use like little pieces to fill in like little gaps and stuff. Use the big pieces. Just get them all laid out in the pan. But first you want to just get your bread cut up. I'm going to use a couple pieces of this brioche. Pretty good bread. But I'll throw a couple pieces out there. I'm making, this is like 8 by 8. Most of your recipes out there do a 9 by 13. I'll make an 8 by 8. Sometimes if I'm gonna have friends over or whatever, I'll do a 9 by 13. You get all this ready the night before. You cover it up, you throw it in the refrigerator. And then you just pop it out in the morning, take the plastic wrap off of it, throw some foil on top of it, pop it in the oven. It's quick, easy, boom, breakfast is ready before you know it. Anyway, let's get this going. So first thing I'm gonna do, just get you some cooking spray, doesn't matter what kind. I've got different kinds. Sometimes I have olive oil cooking spray. I'll use that. But just spray down your dish. All right. Then what you want to do is just start laying your bread in there. I take the corner pieces like this, and I'll throw them in the corners. Right. Throw those in the corners. And then just start laying the bread out. And I mix it up. If I've got 2 different kinds of breads, I'll mix it up, okay? I'll put half there, It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. You just put a layer in the bottom of the pan. That's all you're doing. You put a layer in there. You know, like I said, I'm using sourdough and I'm using brioche. You know, you just fit them all in there so it covers the bottom. That's all you're doing. Get them in there. I know this is probably the boring part. It's okay. Throw them doggone things in there. Get them all laid in. It doesn't have to be pretty. It literally does not have to be pretty. You'll take all the excuse me, little pieces, and you'll fill in the cracks, the crevices all over the place, because you're gonna end up with little cracks, because you know not every piece of bread is exactly the same size. So I'm gonna taking a corner piece and putting it in there, but you get a layer in the bottom. That's all you do. Get a layer in the bottom. Okay? Once you get a layer in the bottom, then you want to get your cream cheese. A little trick, throw your cream cheese in the freezer and don't freeze it hard, but just kind of firm it up, makes it easier to cut. What I do is I'll just cut a slice like that of cream cheese, and then I'll just break it in half and just lay it in there. Or I'll cut it, doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a certain size. You know, some people like a lot of cream cheese. Some people don't like a lot of cream cheese. It depends. It's totally up to you. All right? So you just cut them up and lay them in there. There's no right or wrong. There's no formula you have to follow on this whole deal. I'm telling you. The cream cheese doesn't like melt and make a layer across the bottom of the on top of the bread. It doesn't. It does flatten out a little bit, but it doesn't completely melt and make a layer across the bottom, you know, between the bread. Because you're going to put another layer of bread on this, and you're going to throw, of course, your blueberries in there. All right? All right, that's enough right there. Throw this back on there, and we'll end up putting that back in the refrigerator. Save it for another one. Another French toast, right? So now we've got, give you a show. Sorry, I'm working on my camera angles and stuff, but anyway, there you go. So you got your bread in the bottom. You got a layer of cream cheese in there. Now you take blueberries, throw your blueberries on there. Again, I've seen all these recipes out there say, oh, this much or that much. I only have it in a measuring cup so that it's easier to throw in there. I really don't measure them. I'll just kind of spread a nice even layer in there. I don't remember what the recipes I've seen called for, a cup or something, but literally I just throw them in there and spread them out, okay? Now, here's something that I do that I've not seen on any other recipe, is I keep a little container like this. I've done this forever. I put cinnamon and sugar in here. And it's probably a little more cinnamon than sugar, but then I'll take and I'll just sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon and sugar in there. Not a whole ton. I'll just sprinkle a layer in there. There you go, see? A little bit, not a whole lot. Okay, now you do your second layer of bread. Like I said, just layer it in there. Now I'm gonna take all these little pieces, okay, and I'm just gonna wedge them all in all these gaps. All this is gonna come together, and it may look terrible right now. I mean, kind of looks terrible, I guess. See, there you go. Give you a little close up. See, it's all mixed up bread. I mean, if you want to use just, you know, one kind of what we're gonna do for this 8x8, I generally will use, will use 7 eggs, about 7 eggs. For a 9x13, the recipes I saw called for a dozen. Oh, and here's a little tip Little tip here for you. Never crack your eggs on the side of the bowl. I've learned this over years. Crack it on a flat surface, okay? Crack it on a flat surface. Otherwise, you'll notice, I crack it on a flat surface, pop it in there. I don't ever get any pieces of shell in there. When you crack them on the side, like on the side of the bowl, that's what knocks those pieces loose, and you drop them in there and they end up getting in your egg. If you do get a piece of shell in there, use the shell to get it out. All right. There's 7 eggs. I think 7 is going to be good. Because now what we're going to do is, okay, we're going to throw a little bit of Madagascar bourbon pure vanilla extract. Do not skimp on vanilla. I have other videos where I see the same thing. Do not skimp on vanilla. Buy good vanilla. I mean, use whatever you want. If you want to use that imitation vanilla, or you know, whatever is inexpensive. Don't use a lot of vanilla. You don't have to use a lot, just a little bit. But don't skip. Vanilla, really, if you taste an inexpensive vanilla and a real nice, good quality, pure vanilla extract, you'll see the difference. It doesn't have to be the Madagascar bourbon. Spanish pure vanilla extract is good. I use all kinds of vanillas, but happen to be partial to the Madagascar bourbon. I don't measure anything for this, okay? Now I put some organic pure maple syrup in there, real maple syrup, and then toss in some, I'm using heavy whipping cream. You can use milk, you can use half and half, you can use whipping cream, whatever works for you. You know, if you're trying to make it a little low fat or whatever, use 2% or skim milk, whatever, it'll all work. If you want, you could use no milk. This, it turns out creamier and better. Okay, give your eggs a real good mix. Okay, there you go. They're all nice and pretty. All right, and now what we're gonna do is just pour it in there. Doesn't have to be perfect. This is gonna sit in the refrigerator all night. Okay, I try to get it all over everything, but really you're gonna be covering it with plastic wrap. Okay, all right, there you go. Boom. Last thing I do before I cover it with plastic wrap, cinnamon sugar, a little bit of cinnamon sugar right on the top. Not a lot, just a little. Boom, there we go. Doesn't have to be perfect, like I said. And there we go. Grab you some plastic wrap. I use this Glad Press and Seal, right? Because it works really good. Okay, and what I do is, all right, I put it on there, and then before I stick it to the sides, I press it down onto the bread, and then I give it a little mash. Okay, all right, and then boom, 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 wrap it around. I just push it down in there. Get that bread all mushed down into the eggs. All right, and there you go. You pop it in the refrigerator overnight. All right, okay, I'm gonna pop it in the fridgie, and we'll finish this off in the morning when I pop it in the oven. So, blueberry cream cheese French toast. It's gonna be delicious, I guarantee it. Good morning. It's time to put our blueberry cream cheese French toast in the oven, so I'll grab it out of the refrigerator real quick. There it is. It's soaked up all that delicious egg. Mixture that we put on it last night. It's been sitting in the refrigerator all night. And the magic of video, you didn't have to wait. It's right here, right now. So here we are. It's all ready. All I'm going to do is pop some foil on the top of it. All right. Excuse me. You don't have to make a seal. Just make sure it's on there. I use a baking sheet. Just like that. I always put a little bit of foil on the bottom of the baking sheet just in case of spills. I've never had this, but there's always a first time. And I put a little foil on the bottom of the baking sheet just to make it easier to clean up. I've preheated my oven to 350 degrees. 350, rack in the middle of the oven. And now I'll pop it in the oven and 30 minutes covered. 350 degrees. Then I'll pull it out, remove the foil, pop it back in the oven, 30 more minutes, uncovered, take it out, and let it cool a little bit. There we go. So let me pop this in the oven. All right, 30 minutes. We'll be ready to go. I'll set my timer. And rock and roll. All right, 30 minutes. Let's pop this thing out of here. First thing I do before I pop it out, so I'm going to be putting it right over here, is I put a towel down, all right, or a cooling rack. I've got a bunch of those too. Let's pop it out of here. All right. Okay, set it down. All right, all I'm gonna do is pull the foil off. All right, there's our foil. All right, now I'm gonna pop it back in the oven for another 30 minutes. And that time frame is the same for cooking, whether it's a 9x13 or an 8x8 or a 9x9 or whatever size. It's 30 minutes. 30 minutes covered with foil, 30 minutes with the foil off. And honestly, when you get it after 30 minutes, you probably are going to look at it. The first couple times I did it, I looked at it and I'm like, wow, that doesn't look done. I ended up cooking it a little longer, and it was a mistake. It ended up being dry, and you don't want to do that. I'm going to put it back in the oven. All right, so it's been 30 minutes uncovered. Now I'm going to remove it from the oven, and again, we'll put our towel down, protect our surface right. There you go. Take a look at that. All right, I'll woohoo, top. Look at that. That's how it should look. Nice and browned on the top. You know, you can hear it bubbling. Put it on a cooling rack. All right. And we'll go ahead and put this back over here. Get it out of the way. Turn off our oven. Smells. The smell is just, it smells amazing. All right, our blueberry cream cheese French toast has been cooling for about 10 minutes. You don't have to wait that long. You can just wait a couple of minutes and that'll be fine. It's up to you. I usually wait 5 to 10 minutes just to let it settle. It literally will continue cooking after you take it out of the oven for a little bit. You can pop a thermometer in there and watch it. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it up. All right, so I'll just take it. There it is. Nice. The bread soaked up all that egg It's just moist, delicious. Personally, I mean, you can put, like I said, you can put syrup, any kind of flavored syrup you want, maple, whatever. Like I said, I make this compote, this blueberry compote, and I'll get it out of the refrigerator, so you know, it comes at room temperature or whatever. You can even pop it in the microwave for a few, but I don't necessarily do that. And then just ladle you some on top of there. You can dust it with powdered sugar, do whatever you want. I put a tablespoon of that on there, and that's it. It's ready to eat. Oh, that's good. It's ready to eat. We'll take a little taste here. Man, I'm telling you, it is piping hot. But look at that. Look at that. Blueberries, cream cheese, French toast, egg. It is delicious. I'm not kidding you. It's really hot. But let's take a taste. Oh. That is delicious. I'm not that great at the video editing thing right now. I will actually try to put a link to the blueberry compote that I make. Believe me, it is the perfect pairing for this blueberry cream cheese French toast. It literally is perfect. It's not too sweet, it's not too tart. It's just got that perfect amount of sweetness with the blueberries and a little bit of lemon. It is delicious. I'm not saying this for my opinion. All the people that I take this to, feed this to, they rave over it. I will attempt. Like I said, I'm not that great at the video editing yet. I'm still working on all this, but I will attempt to put a link to the blueberry compote up here in the corner. If you like my videos, subscribe. Like I said, I will add more content. I'm going to try to be doing a video at least once a week, something different. Please, if you like my videos, subscribe. If you don't, it's okay too. I literally am not doing this to make money or anything. I'm doing this to share my recipes with everybody. So anyway, enjoy the blueberry cream cheese French toast. Like I said, it's amazing. Anyway, I'm going to sign up for now. I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Thank you.